I'm Jacqueline Ross. I live in San Diego, California. I've been working in the exchange world for probably about 15 years.
To you, what's the difference between exchanging or equity, whatever it's called, equity marketing, and then the more standard form of real estate?
Really it's another tool in the tool belt. We have many different ways to go about selling or buying a property, one of which is sell it, go to cash, and then use that cash to buy something else. A lot of people do that. We still do that with tax-deferred exchanges, but often you don't need to go to cash. You don't need to have the cash in your hand to go buy something if someone has what you want. You can do a direct exchange. You can create the timing the way that you want it. It gives you so much more flexibility, especially if cash is difficult to get or come by. If there isn't a market for your property to sell, there's still an opportunity to sell it by trading or exchanging the equity that's in that property for something that you want.
Freedom of, how you go about it is one of the benefits. Can you think of other benefits?
Absolutely. Win-win solutions, problem solving, that's one of the things that we look at most. The properties themselves are not usually the problem, it's the owner. The owner is in a situation where they need to sell or need to liquidate for various reasons. Maybe they're getting divorced, maybe they have a life change, they're looking to grow their income, they're looking to downsize and retire and convert things into just passive income streams. There's so many different benefits and features that you can put together, and so part of that problem solving is just putting the right people with the right piece of property at the right time in their lives.
Awesome. And so a lot of it has to do with it. Does it seem more personal?
Absolutely. It's one of the things I love to do. I work with clients on a one-to-one basis. Most of my clients are long-term repeat clients. We go about looking at what do they have to work with, and do they have equity trapped in assets that are not necessarily earning them a return and could be doing better. We'll take that and activate that equity, put it into another asset or whatever is going to fit the goals of what they want to accomplish.
Why isn't it as big as it probably should be? Why are there only 120 people here?
It's funny you say that, because I think we nationally, this is a pretty big meeting, 120 people, but a lot of people don't understand the benefit of what it offers, and a lot of people don't understand how to put it together. It seems strange because most of what we know is that traditional cash transaction. You may go to a bank and buy a property, or borrow the money to buy your property, etc. We work with a lot of carry back. There are people that have a property that they own free and clear, and then they carry back a note, so that we provide financing solutions, which is great if someone has too many loans on their books that a bank doesn't like, or if they don't check all the boxes and fit with a banker's checklist of items that they want.
Excuse me. So why do you exchange personally, and why do you come to these meetings?
For me, I was quickly introduced to equity exchanging, and it completely changed my mindset. I was in brokerage initially and quickly moved to becoming a principal in transactions. I partnered with some clients. I started syndicating or putting partnerships together in order to create not just my own wealth, but to help them build wealth as well. By putting those together, we were able to diversify, move into more markets in different property types, and really so that if something happened to, let's say, the residential market, commercial is a little different. It's not going to be affected the same way, or industrial property is not going to have the same little basket of benefits that an office property would have, or retail. So you can really...
The niche society that you belong to, like in terms of,
The niche...
No, just talk about the people it attracts.
People that are creative and that want to help. I think we're really a group of like-minded people. We are problem solvers. We like to look for those win-win situations. We like to help put people together, people in transactions. I think we like to think outside the box. We want to get to the other side and make as many people as happy as possible.
Do you feel like there's a sense of camaraderie or teamwork?
Absolutely. It really is kind of a family. A few of the organizations that I attend and belong to are we are a family. There's a level of sophistication, knowledge, expertise, but there's also a level of trust, because you continue to work with people over and over again. We come to these meetings 4, 5, 6 times a year. It's a fishbowl. Who you are and how you operate and what you're trying to accomplish. You get to know people pretty well on a very deep basis. So that level of trust and capability is really highly sought after. It also allows me to go outside of my own market, which was a huge step for my business, to have the ability to call somebody up, on the other side of the country, in a different state, and say, hey, what do you know about this area? I'm looking at a property, or could you help me out with management, or could you help find me a leasing broker? So the possible solutions are endless.
So have you had a client or a situation where you've had to contact someone you met here because they had a license in a different state?
Yeah, but it's not just licensing. It's mostly for contacts. We're looking at a medical office building in Colorado, and I wasn't very familiar with the area that the property was in. I was able to call someone up, and they said, well, this is, it's a good little building and it's doing great now, but probably in the next 2 years, the hospital down the road is going to be closing. This was kind of a little piece of information, that was kind of known in the city, but not necessarily to an out-of-state broker. And so having that extra piece of information and insight was, great for the decision making. We knew what we were getting into and what to expect.
And so instead of them trying to usurp you and just take the client, that doesn't seem to happen.
No, I would say no, never, because like I said, it's a tight-knit community and people really want to help each other. We have legacy owners and understand about exchanging, the better it is for all of us in the room, because we will be able to get more transactions done and help more people.
Awesome. Could you, we have 2 questions left. Sorry, I asked you a few more questions, but what's the formula? Can you just define what a formula is and give me an example if you have one?
Sure. Formulas we call them formulas. Really, they're just sort of a framework within which to structure your transaction. So you could do something, let's say that you have a client, they own their own property, their own building, they've got a business, and they're looking to expand that business. They could we could do what's called a sale leaseback. So you sell your property, but you don't want to leave the property. You just want to generate some capital, some working capital, to be able to expand your business and go to a new, a new location or a new building. Maybe you want to develop it. You can sell your property and then maintain that and lease it back for a set, mutually agreed upon set of time and parameters for costs. And then you now have access to all of that equity that was trapped in that initial building.
Awesome. And do you have any deals that you've made that were memorable other than they were profitable?
Yeah, for me, it's less about the profit. It really is about helping people. One of our clients, their dream was to have a cabin in the Sierra Nevada mountains, kind of off grid, doing their own thing, and spend half a year there, half of their year during retirement. So they came to me a few years ago and were wrapping up getting ready for retirement, wrapping up their business and getting ready to sell that. So they sold their business and they had some capital and they wanted to deploy it. And so we took a look at what they had available. They purchased a medical office building. It was nice and solid. It fit their risk profile and generated some cash flow. They tapped into some of the equity that was sitting in their home because they lived in a very nice area in California with a great deal of equity built up in their house that wasn't working for them. So we were able to purchase the land in the Sierras that they wanted. The money from the medical office building paid for that land, as well as the construction of the cabin that they wanted to put on there. And now that's what they do. They are living their dream. They are in the Sierras. All of the things that they were able to put together because of that. And we've since done other deals and transactions, so they're building that cash flow and that cushion to be able to continue to support what they want to do in their retirement.
Awesome. Any final thoughts or?
I encourage people, anyone who's interested in this, it is an incredible tool, especially for the younger generation. I wish I had been exposed to it probably, 20 years ago. I certainly have got my son involved, and he's starting to understand. And I think that it's a great way to, build your own retirement starting from a young age, and really you've got the time to make things work for you. So if you're at all interested in learning about it, check it out, check us out, come to meetings, and there are more than enough people that would help you learn and grow and create your own wealth.